Hey, Plant Pals, Mike, the Gardener, and today is a look at what's going on in my inside garden. It's been about a week since I last showed things, and there have been some developments, and good things, bad things. I'm going to talk about it. That's what I always do. So as I showed last week, I think this is one of the flowers that I showed. That was just a flower with a little bit of green inside. You can see the peppers coming out of it. These peppers are kind of small. And I'm not quite sure why. It's just kind of a hit or miss thing with these supposedly micro helping. Sometimes you get a very small plant with large full-size peppers. Sometimes you get a larger plant that's full of peppers, but they're smaller. So just kind of a random hit or miss thing, but they're still good peppers, and I'm going to enjoy them. And I can pretty much eat them at any stage. So now that I know that they're not really going to get that much larger than what they are, I'll just start using them, and then hopefully keep producing new growth. And there's tons and tons on here. There's probably 30 peppers on this plant, which is pretty cool. Be right back. I have been extremely busy the last, well, the last couple months, but especially this last week here. So I've been kind of neglecting things in my indoor garden. There have been, like I said, tons of females, and then there's a ton of new males finally showing up. So hopefully we can coordinate these guys and get their act together, and I can get myself a candy roaster. But you can see it's all in the ceiling. It's climbing up. It's climbing over the light, and I'm just gonna let it do it. Just like I said, I'm very busy, and it seems to be happy. So I'm going to, I'll take off any leaves that are kind of getting brown on the edges there, and allow the new growth to grow. So right next to it is that tomato plant that was all up to the ceiling. It's kind of fallen over, and I haven't even bothered to tie it or stake it up. Which I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start propagating them. I'll cut them at like this level here, put it in water, and see if I get roots, and then that way it'll be a shorter plant, and maybe I'll start getting some fruit off of it, because this is just a ridiculously big plant for supposed to be in a microdwarf plant. And I might cut back and just see if I get some new growth coming off of here. We'll see. Again, I was supposed to come in here and clean up all this stuff with all the dead stuff is because I cut it, but just me ignoring it for a week, it's already, look at how much it's grown back. But that just goes to show you that if you actually took the time to properly take care of the plant, you would get lots of production. Once again, with my experimental shelf, there's the green onions, the bunching onions. They're doing pretty good. Tomatoes, you can see there's all these tomatoes back here. I've been harvesting tons and tons of tomatoes. They're okay. Like I said, I like orange hats better, but they're a pretty tasty tomato. And you can see it's a smaller size plant just growing in this AeroGarden sprout unit. It's giving me quite a bunch of production. So I would recommend, if you kind of like a more of a thick-skinned, bitter, kind of almost bitter but yet sweet at the same time tomato, this one's pretty good. And then again, I've been ignoring the microtom, just plucking tomatoes off. I haven't really been training it or anything like I should. My basil is up in the light. I've been harvesting, using it for cooking, but it just instantly goes back into the light. Nothing there. Like I said, I was going to replace that with probably rosemary or something, but haven't got around to it. The tomatoes are still just a few in the back here, and I don't know if I would grow this variety again, but it's always worth trying. And this was just a cracky method. Maybe if I tried in a AeroGarden Bounty or something, I might get better results. So I'm kind of rushing through this because I want to get back to the I want to get to the topic that I'm about to talk about, which is my peppers. So last time I looked at them, again, like I said, I was so busy I wasn't paying too much attention to them, and my wife was looking at it, and she looked at the back of the leaf here. on some of these plants, and she was seeing that they had powdery mildew. Now, typically, Minnesota winters are very dry inside. You have to have humidifiers running because they're usually so dry. And this winter has been very strange in that it's been like 50s and normally it's supposedly in the negative below zeros. And this is the one that was dying, and I just cut all the leaves off of it. So I got two. These are the violet sparkles. They're supposed to be purple, and they're turning red because they've gone through they've already been through the purple phase. And so what I did was, to combat the powdery mildew, is I used a spray of like 6 ounces of water and a tablespoon of baking soda, and shook it up real well and misted it on my plants. So this, what you see here, this is a baking soda. This isn't the powdery mildew. So it actually did work. It killed the powdery mildew, getting new growth back again. And what I'm going to do is and there was like a ton of like dying leaves, and so I removed them. And you can see pretty much all this is new growth. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut everything way back, cut the fruit off, and kind of just reset the plant. Like this one here is doing great. This is, again, I got to clean the stuff off here. This is the lipstick pepper, and they typically get much larger in size, so that powdery mildew really did a number on my peppers. That's why you always got to pay attention and look underneath the leaves and see if there's any like spider mites, fungus gnats. These are all things that will affect your indoor garden. But there is almost always a solution. And so fortunately, I was able to stop the powdery mildew in its tracks. And again, I'm going to probably take all these plants out, wash them, rinse them off, get the baking soda off of them, and trim back the roots. And I'll either put them back in here, or I might just grow them cracky method and start new seeds to put outside, because the outside garden should be starting relatively soon. So again, if you see a leaf like this, that's kind of not the best, just take it off, get rid of it. And that takes the energy away from trying to save bad leaves. Like pretty much every leaf that was affected by the powdery mildew I've taken off. And so this pepper was looking terrible, and life is returning back to this plant. So like I said, I can either allow these to do their thing, which I might on like the chocolate jalapeno here, and maybe let the lipstick do its thing. But like this guy, I'm just going to get rid of him because he's not doing great. And so why waste the energy? And it thinks its job is done because it grew its couple peppers too. So what I could do is I could take the peppers off and then cut it back to just a stick, as if you would overwintering it, and put it in like a cracky jar or something, and see if life will return, and then I can put it outside. But yeah, so that's what I wanted to talk about. I wanted to talk about the fact that I had an issue with my indoor garden. I had the powdery mildew, and what I did to cure it. So this is a new pepper. So yeah, so it's recovered and there is new life. It's just kind of a bummer that things were looking so beautiful and the peppers are growing fast and huge, and the powdery mildew, by me not paying attention to the humidity inside the house, affected the growth of my peppers. But that's just a lesson learned, and fortunately for me, I can start outside in a couple months. But I can get the ones that I'm growing outside started inside to go outside, which is probably likely what I'm going to do. So yeah, so there's always something that keeps you humble when you're going inside. But even though I had that setback, I'm still producing peppers and enjoying the food. And like the same thing with the lettuce. Even though I ignored the lettuce, plants will find a way. And so I'll have another harvest of that lettuce. I still haven't decided if I'm going to reset it or just actually start taking care of it as I should. I don't know. But it's always chaotic, and it's always fun. So any comments, questions in the comments section. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Have an awesome day. Pepper.